Alright, we are in section 3.2, solving inequalities using addition or subtraction. So let's look at the solve it. In a U.S. presidential election, a candidate must win at least 270 out of 538 total electoral votes to be declared the winner. Suppose the candidate has earned 238 electoral votes in states outside the southeastern U.S. What is the least number of states in the southeastern U.S. that the candidate could win and still become president? What are these states? Justify your reasoning. So they're asking you, through these certain constraints, what is the least number that the candidate could win and still become president? So throughout this section, we're looking at inequalities, also known as constraints. Alright, let's look at the first problem. You can see it. Alright. Okay. So, it is asking you, what are the solutions of x minus 5 greater than negative 12? Now, this means greater than, and this sign is less than. Similarly, this is greater than or equal to, and this is less than or equal to. Alright, so x minus 5 is greater than negative 12. Now, similar to equations, I want to get x by itself. I want to isolate it. So, I'm going to use the inverse operation, negative 15. I want to add 15 on both sides, which leads me to x is greater than, and negative 12 plus 15 is positive 3. So to graph that, because this is strictly greater than, that means it's going to be an open circle. And because x is greater than 3, that means x can be anything bigger than 3. So we're going to go to the right. So let us just try this. So if it's strictly greater than, it's an open hole. If it's strictly less than, it's an open hole. If it's greater than or equal to, it's a closed hole. If it's less than or equal to, it is also a closed hole. Alright, so I want you to try the got it. What are the solutions of n minus 5 is less than negative 3, and graph the solution. So moving on to problem 2. We want to find the solutions to 10 is greater than or equal to x minus 3. And also, we want to graph and check the solution. So, like any other equation, we're going to get x by itself. So you see this is a plus 3. I'm going to use the inverse operation. I'm going to add 3 to both sides. Therefore, I'm left with 13 is greater than or equal to x. And so that's saying that, should add a 14 right there. Alright. 13 is greater than or equal to x. That means that if you flip this around, because we don't read it this way, normally read x is at the left, we can flip it as x is less than or equal to 13. So if you flip the x in the number, you also have to flip the sign. So therefore, if x is less than or equal to 13, this is going to, since it's or equal to, it's going to be a closed hole at 13. And if x is less than or equal to that, it can be any number 13 or smaller. So the arrow is going to go this way. Alright. And so, how do we check that solution? We're going to check it by choosing any number that's 13 or smaller. So let's choose 12. So if we choose x equals 12, we're going to plug that into this original inequality. And so, putting 12 in there, is 10 greater than or equal to 12 minus 3? And 12 minus 3 is 9. So yes, that's correct. So in fact, x is less than or equal to 13 is the correct answer. So why don't you try the got it? I want you to, what are the solutions to m minus 11 is greater than negative 2? Graph and check the solution. Just exactly what we did here. Alright, moving on to problem 3. Now we're changing into subtraction. So I want to know what's the solution to t plus 6 is greater than negative 4. And I want to graph it. So, again, I want to get t by itself. So I want to use the inverse operation. So I'm going to do minus 6, and t is greater than negative 4 minus 6 is negative 10. So, I see t is going to be greater than, strictly greater than. So therefore, it's going to be an open circle. And be careful, if t is greater than negative 10, that means that it's going to be bigger than negative 10. So therefore, I'm going to go to the right. Alright, so why don't you try to got it? I want you to find the solutions to negative 1 is greater than or equal to y plus 12 and graph the solution. Now be careful, this is greater than or equal to. This is not strictly greater than. Alright, and number 4, let's look at this part. Alright, so, you can't see it? Okay. Alright, problem 4. The hard drive on your computer has a capacity of 120 gigabytes. You have used 85 gigabytes. You want to save your home videos on your hard drive. What are the possible sizes of your home of the home video collections you can save? Alright, so we have a capacity of 120 gigabytes. Alright, and then we have used 85 of them. Alright, so our max is that. We used 85, and we can have some more for the home video collections, where X is the home video collection. So, alright. So to do that, if we use 85 and we want to save some more for our home video collection, but we have a max of 120, so we can use 120 gigabytes or less. This is what our inequality is going to look like. Therefore, let's solve for x like we normally do. We're going to subtract 85 on both sides. So x is less than or equal to 35. So that is our solution. We have 35 gigabytes. Those are possible size. Anything that's less than or equal to 35 is how much you have left. So, why don't we try got it right here and come in with any questions tomorrow.